Leo, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, and empowerment coach. And I'm here today with your February 2023 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology. So this is going to be based on Leo rising. If you don't know your rising sign, you can go to any one of the free birth calculators on the internet. You just need your exact time of birth and your location, and that will give you the information that you need. So let's just jump right in, Leo, because the month starts off on the 4th of February. I know this is the first significant aspect I thought about, is the moon in Leo is at 6 degrees in your first house, making an exact trine to Jupiter in Aries, 6 degrees in your 9th house. This to me feels like an energy of, the first word I wanted to use was expansion. It felt like I had a renewed sense of passion about either a project I'm working on or something that I want to bring forth into the physical world. Now, it has a very inspiring feeling to me because having Leo be your first house, this is about you, how you perceive yourself and project yourself out into the world. And now we see Aries in the 9th house, giving you an opportunity to sort of put to rest what has been and start to give life to what can be. The 9th house and Jupiter represent the big questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? It represents a connection and a faith to the other side. It represents higher education levels. And I'm not just talking about in the human structure. It can represent, studying foreign cultures, foreign religions, and sort of creating your own dynamic by pulling threads from them all and writing your own belief system. And I'm really excited about that for you. Now we have Venus at 10 degrees Pisces in your 8th house, squaring Mars at 11 degrees 11 degrees Gemini in your 11th house. To me, a square, while it's a tense aspect, I've always perceived it, and Spirit has supported that belief, that a square is sort of an old version of yourself, a default of a way of thinking of how you show up, how you perceive things, and a new version of that, an evolved version of that, a not quite completely integrated, but tested, but not completely solid within your experience. So now let's look at Venus. Venus represents my money. She represents my self-worth. She represents beauty. She represents comfort and a sense of coziness. She also represents my relationships. The 10th degree is the Capricorn degree, which is a builder. But every time I see ones, I know I'm building a new thought idea, a new belief that supports the law of attraction, which brings that into my physical experience. I start to really recognize my co-creation. Now we have Venus squaring Mars at 11 degrees in Gemini. Gemini rules what I think, what I speak, what I teach others through what I speak and what I teach, and how I roll around in my neighborhood, my community, my circle. The 11th degree is the Aquarius degree, offering me an opportunity to have an epiphany, to really start to look at things from a cosmic consciousness point of view. I'm not going to go to the World Wide Web right now, and I'm not really necessarily going to bringing something into the physical just yet, as much as you're starting to rewrite emotionally, mentally, spiritually within your inner body what is the foundation for birthing that into the physical world, because that's where the square comes in. Pisces is in the 8th house, or your 8th house, and it's very transformational. Pisces in the 8th house has a certain cooperation in the natural form of the wheel. Pisces and Scorpio both represent the unseen. The 12th house, Pisces natural house, is where we're going back into the collective, where we're shedding the human experience and, sort of having this opportunity to recognize from an interior level who we are, which is light, energetic, eternal beings. So you have a real opportunity to rewrite your self-worth and how have I been thinking thoughts that serve where I want to go? Because Mars is about being brave. And the 11th house, while it rules networks, it rules my hopes and my dreams. And when we give life to our hopes and dreams, Leo, we give life to the rest of the world to believe they can have their hopes and dreams. It's why when we see these reality shows, we learn about the characters within them and the struggles they've had and how they've overcome them, because it gives us a sense of being able to do that. And while this is a square on the 4th of February, it's also, we've got this moon going on, which gives you an opportunity to rewrite your beliefs as the moon trines Jupiter. Now we also have Uranus at 15 degrees Taurus in your 10th house, making a square to the sun at 15 degrees Aquarius in your 7th house. Uranus naturally rules Aquarius. Again, that square to me is, really this sort of new version of myself that I haven't quite integrated. I've tested it. I've got a little bit of skill with it, but it's not anchored. And then there's the default part of me that thinks something without even consciously being aware of it. So here on this one day, as the sun moves very quickly, with them squaring at the 15th degree, this is the Gemini degree. So all these planets are tasking you, Leo. Are you aligned to what you want to experience? And if you're not aligned, if you're still out there blaming the outside world or looking to the outside world to bring in a solution, that's a viable thing. But your alignment mentally, emotionally, physically, meaning letting your body feel relaxed, will allow that experience to come into your life. So now we go on to the 5th of February, where we're going to have a full moon in Leo at the 16th degree. I'm going to do a separate video on that, as we've had a series of full moons at the 16th degree. That is the Cancerian degree. I'm focusing on self-nurturing, on my intuitive body, and am I connecting to my emotional body? So this is going to be very important, because by the time we get to April, we will have had 7 of them in a row at the 16th degree, full moons offering illumination, and we are in the 7th year. This is a year of introspection, a year of integration of my spiritual body with my physical and emotional body, and starting to give life to the idea that I have evolved from where I was yesteryear. And am I bringing yesteryear into today, which isn't serving me today nor tomorrow? Okay, now we go on to February 9th. Mercury and Pluto are meeting in your 6th house of Capricorn at the 28th degree. The 28th degree is the Cancerian degree. I just spoke about that. And 28 reduces down to a 10. So now we're seeing 2 planets, both reducing down to a 10, which together make an 11. Pluto is your deep, deep psychology. It is Pluto asks you to think twice about your motivations. And when I can go to many of the mundane things, other people's money, it rules sex, it rules the occult, but we are going through deep changes on this earth plane. And part of that is our becoming aware of our co-creation by the stories we tell ourselves and then tell other people. Mercury is an information dispenser. Mercury, goes around the zodiac giving bits of information. And what you're doing is giving bits of information about who you are. And Pluto and Mercury are coming together in your 6th house of enslavement, in your 6th house of health. And this is not just your physical health, but your mental health. So as you align to Capricorn being your 6th house, you have an opportunity to build a new structure of how you think. And this is not about eliminating the old thoughts. It's a simple awareness of it and then identification. Oh, this is a pattern imprinted thought. I have the ability to shift my focus. And this is where Pluto is your friend. Pluto has on the face of the planet an actual heart that you see from space. It's not pink. It actually, I think it has a white sort of teal blue appearance, and it's this tumultuous energy underneath the planet's surface, or underneath the surface of the planet, that's bubbling up, asking me to follow my heart. And this is what this conversation between Pluto and Mercury is asking for you, because the next day or 2 days later, Mercury will enter Aquarius in your 7th house. And while that is the house of marriage, it's also the house of contractual partnerships. And there is an opportunity for you to start to look at how it's also the house of peace and harmony and diplomacy and cooperation, and a willingness to come together for a common good. And now we add Aquarius to that, and that's for humanity. So I think this is giving you an opportunity to see how you perceive your own thoughts, how gentle you are with yourself as you allow for the shift and focus more on what worked than what doesn't work. And you're going to start to see yourself ripple out within your relationships and feel more balance and more exchange of good feeling energy. On the 15th of March, we will have March. I don't know why I keep saying March. I don't know where I'm going. I'm in February. On the 15th of February, Venus is at 24 degrees Pisces, conjunct Neptune at 24 degrees Pisces in your 8th house. This is really, to me, capitalizing even more so on what I'm talking about, your self-worth, finding a sense of spirituality here, being able to see yourself from a transformed place. And the transformation isn't about landing on a spot and staying there. It's the awareness that transformation is a constant flow of choices that we make about how we want to perceive ourselves and the viability of our own abundance, our own fulfillment, and our own happiness, and then our willingness to align to that. I want to offer it this way. It's kind of like if you have a bad habit. Let's say you have a bad habit of smoking cigarettes, and I'm going to call it a bad habit because I used to have it and it didn't serve me. And so when I was quitting smoking, rather than trying to not smoke, I just kept asking myself when I wanted a cigarette, if that cigarette was a demonstration to the universe about how I wanted to live and how I wanted to feel loved, because cigarette smoke is slow suicide. So I started to realize that Spirit was encouraging me to focus in on what is a loving act versus what is a resistant act in the way of trying to transform. So this is where Venus and Neptune conjunct at 24 degrees, the Piscean degree, which is a spiritual degree and a degree that represents ancestral patterns, the DNA that comes through your physical body that opens a territory, a terrain for your transformation. At the same time that these two planets are conjunct in Pisces, they will, for a brief time today, make a square to the moon in Sagittarius in your 5th house. And I think that this square is again offering you an opportunity to take the Sagittarius energy of connecting with the angelic realm, of really, who am I? What am I? And what feels good to me? What brings me pleasure? What makes me feel a sense of enjoyment in this lifetime? Because I believe wholeheartedly that the universe supports our fun and our enjoyment. And the human structure has created a zodiac wheel that is 11 houses of duty and obligation and service to others, and one house that really represents enjoyment, entertainment, fun, and pleasure. And by the way, that 5th house rules the whole zodiac, Leo. Okay, now on the 18th, we have the sun moving into Pisces in your 8th house again. We have on the 19th, a new moon in Pisces, and I'm going to do a separate video on that. On the 20th, Venus will move into Aries in the 9th house. You know, I always think of Venus getting a little bit feisty when she moves into Aries. You know, she gets really passionate. She starts to think about her self-worth from what's important to her. And so in the 9th house, I think she's going to start to have foreign ideas about things. And this is where I'm going with this. Foreign ideas are ideas that I never gave life to before. What if the universe is working for me? What if all the disruptive energy that I've been experiencing has really been the pearls that are the wisdom that are leading me to really be able to enjoy and appreciate the days and the moments ahead for me? That's what I think is going on. Because by the 25th, Venus will be at 7 degrees, Jupiter will be at 11 degrees, and Chiron will be at 13 degrees, and forming a conjunction that we'll see in March. And this is where I really get to transform my beliefs and to feel expansion and to feel a sense of comfort with the ebb and the flow of how we manifest. It's as if Chiron, representing the wound, gets an opportunity to transform to the gift, as Jupiter at 11 degrees is expanding how I see my trials and my tribulations. And that without those trials and tribulations, I would never feel the empowerment, the bravery, the courage to sit here in this Aries energy and feel my self-worth Venus. It's very fabulous. These moments that feel so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs are literally the manure making our gardens grow. And we end the month with Mercury at 27 degrees, conjunct Saturn 29 degrees in Aquarius. This is very powerful because I feel as if Leo has really taken this time to be aware, to be conscious. And the 27th degree is it represents a 9, okay? And the 9, it's also a Gemini degree. So the 9 is a culmination, the end of a cycle. Mercury rules Gemini. So here I am really looking at this conjunction with Saturn and thinking, I'm not going to focus on the thoughts that didn't serve me. I'm going to trust that I can build a new structure in a way that offers me power, offers me confidence, because I believe that Saturn, yes, Saturn's going to hold my feet to the fire. Saturn's going to not care whether I'm happy or sad about what I'm working on. It's just going to ask me to continue to persevere. But here now, Saturn has been in Aquarius, where it ruled, as the co-ruler, the ancient ruler. At the 29th degree, reduces down to an 11, which is my thoughts. The 29th degree is the Leo degree here again. I mean, I feel like I see patterns all over the place, ushering in the Aquarian age, ushering in the age of an awareness of co-creation that doesn't scare us. It doesn't make us afraid of our trials and that we're the problem. I just felt like I wanted to sing Taylor Swift. But anyway, my point is this, is that throughout the month of February, you have an opportunity, as the planets are all moving forward, to really allow yourself the privilege of looking forward in a powerful way and using what you've experienced in previous chapters or previous moments of your life to capitalize on that, to use it as divine disruption that has led you to a nirvana, because nirvana also starts here. And the more we focus on what's good in our lives and what's working in our lives, the more the universe brings that into our experience. All right, Leo, that's it for me, Teri Hunter. Please join me live 11 a.m. on Sundays, Pacific time. That's where we get the angels' advice for traversing the transits ahead in the week ahead. And also, please please subscribe, please share. I'm always kind of bad at doing all this business. I'm supposed to do this at the beginning of the videos. But anyway, you've probably clicked off already. Leo, I will see you in March. Peace out.